So, greetings, everyone. This is the Caribbean Wellness Collective Foundational Group. I am Dr. Cherie Tennessee. We have Monique Blake and Sharon Udall is with us today. And we wanted to share a little bit more information about our upcoming retreat in October 2025 in the beautiful island of Jamaica in Montego Bay. So, Monique, will you kick us off? I know you wanted to share a little bit about the maritone and then the blending of maritone with this particular retreat.
Yes, definitely. So Maritone Music is a family business. My grandfather started it in 1950. That was the original age of the sound system in Jamaica. And sound systems are a unique musical phenomena that took place in Jamaica. And for the last 35 years, we've had a retreat. We've had a music retreat. We call it a family reunion because a lot of the people who come are people who followed my uncles and father over the last 50 plus 60 plus years, right? So this retreat, the goal of the retreat is to bring home Jamaicans, bring people who are interested in Jamaican culture, even if they're not Jamaicans, interested in Jamaican music, to participate in a real family-like atmosphere. We have people who bring 3 generations of family to these reunions. And it is very relaxed. There's a sense of community. There's a strong sense of family. And it's music that my uncles and father made popular while they, created this Maritone Music sound system sound. We call it the last sound standing. So this year, because I've worked with both of you for so long, and we've always had this desire to not only do wellness, but to be in a place where literally you can feel, the wellness in the soil in Jamaica, this natural healing that's everywhere, right? And so we decided that we wanted to extend the Maritone Music family reunion. For one, because a lot of the people tend to stay longer. So we could invite them to the wellness. And for two, to invite people from the wellness to come and experience a little of one of Jamaica's treasures, the sound system culture. So that was the inspiration. And when, we decided to form this group, I thought this would be really a great inaugural launch into the Caribbean and Caribbean wellness. So that's it.
Absolutely. Sharon,
Excellent.
you've been in the wellness space for decades, as we have discussed.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you share a little bit just about your interest? I know we're looking at the empowerment of the lioness and we're looking at different menopause treatments. Can you share a little insight into why you feel like that's important and really who is the audience that we're going after?
Yes. So, as you said, I've been in this industry for decades. I've also gone through menopause myself, and it is life-changing. It's a whole new way of life for us. As soon as I hit 50, everything was different. I woke up the next morning, my digestion was different. My hair was different, my skin was different, everything was just different. And we're now in a space where, or an age where women are living longer and more women are going through this process, and there are no answers, there are no natural or holistic way of dealing with it. And I felt the time was now appropriate for us to do something along those lines. And we're actually stepping into a new sense of power, a new sense of feminine power. And the Lioness N Power was when Monique suggested the name, I was like, yes, that is who we are and that who we're destined to be. And yet, as you know, the lioness is the person who takes care of the family, who brings home the bacon, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I felt this
Or
was
at least the zebra.
Or what I was
exactly
thinking, wildebeest.
with the beast. So I think this was a perfect time for us to do this, you know what I mean? And I look forward. I'm so honored to be doing it with you too. And as Monique said, we've been thinking about this for a long time, and it is the divine time for us to do this right now. So I'm really looking forward to everyone joining us and just immersing themselves in the culture, immersing themselves in the knowledge, and just the spiritual growth that can take place when we all collaborate and in this sisterhood. Yeah, so that's why I think now is the time for us to do it.
And
Absolutely.
Cherie, you named it the Caribbean Wellness Collective, and you're definitely a daughter of the Caribbean.
Yes.
So officially adopted as a daughter.
Adopted daughter. Yes. Yes.
I
So,
am Jamaican, as I say. I did get
yes.
the opportunity to spend off and on for 3 years in the Caribbean working. And one of the things, the gaps that I wanted to fill was, there were different wellness experiences and associations, but they weren't really in the Caribbean. They
Mm-hmm.
were in the US, kind of floating their fingers down to the
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean. And so I really wanted something that tapped into the culture, but also the healing practices, right? So I,
Mm-hmm.
I have my Cersei and the sour sap. And
Yeah.
I went through the cultural training where they talk about the treatment for the duppy punch and, all of those different things, and
Wow.
just understanding that there is such an opportunity. And 10 years ago, when I worked in the Caribbean, it was set to be the capital of wellness.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that has not fully manifested. So I really want to push the gas pedal and create an awareness of what
Mm-hmm.
is indigenous and authentic and daily practices for those that are in the Caribbean that we can incorporate as we mature, as we go through different transitions and different aspects of life. There are tools, there are knowledge and natural organic resources that can be incorporated, and being able to not only take advantage of that ourselves, because I know we have two native Jamaican women in addition to my Jamaican status,
Mm-hmm.
but being able to share that with other Black and Brown women of a certain age. And there's millions of us that are either perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause when you look at the different generations. So I think it's a really important conversation to have. So if we have people that are going to be watching it, what are some of the takeaways, or what is some of the insight that you hope to share with attendees? And Sharon, I'm going to start with you.
Well, I intend to share um, a holistic aromatherapy way of dealing with menopause.
Okay.
Essential oils are vital to us. It literally puts us back to self, gives us back
Mm-hmm.
that feeling of nature, you know, grasping nature and using it as tools to guide our lives, to guide our holistic way of life. And I'm looking forward to creating and giving our guests the opportunity to take home a curated experience of creating their own aromatherapy to take home with them. And I'm really looking forward to that. We're also creating an artisanal wellness
Mm-hmm.
fair so that women can get to know other women from Jamaica, men from Jamaica who are actually um, they're actually contributing to the wellness aspect of Jamaica. And wellness is a growing trend in Jamaica. The last time I was there in January, it was phenomenal. I have never seen so many wellness and artisans who were doing things that they were creating from the natural botany of Jamaica. They were creating things, they were creating products that were helping their fellow Jamaicans who won't have access to a lot of the pharmaceutical things, so to speak, you know. So
Mhm.
I'm really looking forward to giving our guests an idea of what holistically they can do, and along with greeting or meeting these fellow artisans who are creating these lines that will be beneficial for them. So
Awesome.
yeah, so that's what I'm really looking forward to, and also to what you ladies are going to be bringing to, you know, with Sherry with the wellness aspect, and Monique with, you know, what we're dealing with sleep deprivation, we're dealing with food issues. So I'm loving the whole package that we're going to be bringing to them, you know.
Awesome. All right, Monique, I'm going to toss the mic to you, and I would love for you to share the plethora of insights and educational offerings that you are going to share with the retreat attendees as well.
Well, I'm excited to be a part of this. And there, as Sharon said, there's so many different things that we have planned and we're looking forward to them. I'm very much looking forward to the artisans coming there and just sharing their crafts and, you know, all the beautiful things that they're creating for this occasion. I am going to be sharing Ayurveda
Okay.
as a certified Ayurvedic practitioner. One of the things that is important as a distinction is that menopause is not considered a disease in Ayurveda. It's not a disease, it's just a transition from one stage of life to the next. And
Mhm.
so as you're transitioning from one energetic phase to the next, there are lots of things that are here in nature to support us, including understanding, having a better understanding of who we are.
Mhm.
Right. So one of the things I'm going to be presenting is that I'm going to be presenting Ayurveda from the perspective of getting a better idea of who you are as an expression of your energetic presentation, and explaining that so that you can have an understanding of why you're attracted, why to different types of thoughts, different types of foods, different types of anything in your personality that you're trying to get a better understanding of, you know, on your mind, body, spirit level. Ayurveda will have that explanation for you. I always tell people it is a medical system that is over 5,000 years old. Before cell phones and computers and laptops. And so there was a real opportunity for these very wise people to sit without the distractions and
Mhm.
really connect with the universe and get this incredible uh, information about health and healing. It
And I
is
have
so
to
in depth.
say, I have to interrupt right there too. Monique, Ayurveda saved my life at 50. I
Yes,
It took me a whole different direction, and it
yes,
was amazing.
it's
Amazing.
powerful.
It's very powerful.
Yes, it saved my life too. It continues to save my life
Yeah, me
because
too.
when you start doing Ayurveda, it's not something you do once in every blue moon. There are daily rituals that are there to support
Mhm.
you and keep you in balance.
Exactly.
One of the things, you know, that brought me to Ayurveda, uh, my personal healing, the first thing was around insomnia.
Mhm.
I was a chronic insomniac
Mhm.
for the first 40 years of my life.
Oh.
And so it was the only thing that really allowed me to sleep. And I remember when I started to sleep soundly and I got up and felt refreshed, I'm like, oh my God, this is what people talk about. This is why people are so excited about sleep. I
Mm-hmm.
finally got it,
Yeah.
but it took me 40 plus years. And there are very natural ways to approach sleep. And we're going to talk about sleep maxing, which is a big trend that you see on TikTok. And I think the reason that you see it growing so much as a trend is because more and more people are sleep deprived more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I actually was looking at my slides when I first did this. I think the date was 2012.
Wow.
I first started to talk about sleep, natural remedies for sleep. And the numbers on the slide keep going up. Like how many Americans or how many people have sleep issues? It keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. So I think this is something that is truly timely because sleep is one of the keys to health and longevity, just like
is.
Ayurveda is the science of longevity.
Yeah.
So as Sharon said, as women, we're living longer, we're living healthier, we're more active. We still have a full life ahead of us. At 50, we're no longer, locked away old maids. At 50 is a young time of life
Yeah.
for women today. And we're living longer and longer, and we're living healthier, and we want to get as healthy as possible. And so that's what I'm excited about sharing. What about you,
About you?
Miss Shirley?
One, I'm so honored to be in the company of both of you wonderful, amazing women, and just to hear the insight that you have to share about sleep and aromatherapy and just making this transition because I'm semi started, right? I'm toe dipping. Um, and I'm excited. So I actually have a PhD in wellness technology. So to be able to share just the numbers, the insight, the trends on wellness. I, like you, Monique, have been talking about sleep since about 2019 because it was actually an epidemic before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the numbers, as you say, continue to increase. But just to really talk about how we as Black and Brown women can just take better care of ourselves. A lot of times in the conversations, in the settings, we are negated from the conversation, even though we spend, and this was where my research come in, we spend 9 times more as Black and Brown women than any other demographic in the spa, wellness, and beauty sector. Yet, when you look at the services, when you look at the marketing, when you look at the interaction, we are not included in that conversation. It's kind of like what's happening with research in America. Research is geared towards men. So even all of the drugs on the market for women usually are not tested on women, they're tested on men. And so I think now is the time we are priming the pump to really focus on wellness for Black and Brown women, to shift the conversation, to not necessarily look outside of ourselves into traditional Western practices, but to really go back to those Eastern practices of healing, the meditation, the aromatherapy, the Kemet yoga, the Ayurveda, having that conversation. And then also going back to just the indigenous and authentic experiences that are offered in the Caribbean, because a lot of that came over from Africa and is still practiced and just kind of morphed and adjusted to the islands that people landed on. But we didn't have the same resources, right? So you had to go to nature to find the things to be able to heal the issues. And sadly, over time, we've gotten disconnected from that mindset and a little bit more connected to our phones and this relying upon drugs and chemicals to heal the body when there are natural elements that can do the same and even better without the side effects.
Yeah.
So, as we get ready to wrap up this conversation, is there one takeaway you want people that are maybe considering this retreat, something they should think about, or something to kind of push them over to push that button to sign up? So the website is the Wellness, Caribbean Wellness Collective 3, because there's three of us.com. All of our bios are on the website. Before you can book the retreat, we do have an application. We want to make sure that there is alignment with what you are and what you're seeking to who we are and what we're offering. We don't want to disappoint. So there is a screening process. Do not be put off or on guard over that. It is just to make sure that there is a synergy and an alignment with who you are and who we are and what we are trying to offer. But ladies, I'll ask, is there a takeaway or something that you want to share to have them kind of push that button, complete that application, and join us in beautiful Montego Bay? We're just steps from the beach. We have a full 3-day itinerary that we are so excited about. But what tip or what point would you want to share with viewers of this?
I was going to say the hotel. I mean, the
Okay.
hotel is just a few minutes from the airport. The beach is very private. It is a small family-owned hotel.
Okay.
And so they go out of their way to make you feel welcomed. And it's very cozy. So I think that's one of the takeaway, in addition to, the thoughtfulness that we put in creating the 3 days. It is filled with good information. There's time for you to integrate the information. There's time for community. We really put a lot of thought in this, this first retreat. And I know, working with the local artisans, the local team in Jamaica, that people are going to walk away feeling fulfilled, feeling that they've had an exceptional experience, and ready to go on to the next retreat that we plan.
Absolutely. Sharon, your thoughts?
Yes, I'm just saying, if you're ready to, if you're ready to take that leap, if you're ready to take that step into your divine feminine self, the knowledge that you will get from us three ladies will really start you on your way. That's what we are here for. We have spent decades garnering experience that will help you to create a different or a more fulfilling life for yourself at this point. Because now, you're empty nesters, or it's time for you to go back to self and reclaim your power. And I think the knowledge that you'll get from us, I think, will start you on that journey of self-love.
I
So
love that.
I'm looking
And we do
forward to
have different options. So there are single, double, and triple room
it.
options. It is an all-inclusive resort. So when you look at the pricing, it's not one meal, but 3 meals a day. There's pool, there's beach. And we do have 3 days of a variety of activities, from cultural experiences, wellness focus, classrooms, journals, just kind of tapping into the plethora that is wellness and well-being that sometimes we are excluded out of, that all started in places with Black and brown people.
Yeah.
And so bringing that back to the forefront and seeing someone like you lead those classes, have those conversations, who have created these products for people that look exclusively like us.
Yeah.
So when we talk about that empowerment, a lot of times it's seeing that representation, getting that information from people who understand firsthand the challenges that come in the world that we are in now. So being able to give you the information, the tools, the practices, the insights that you can put into play there and then carry back wherever you are. With that, anything else, ladies? It's always such a pleasure to be
The
in a
gift
space
bag.
with you.
The gift bag. There's going to be a nice, wonderful gift bag for
Yay.
attendees.
Yes.
I'm always excited about gift bags
Yeah.
because you get to play and have a
Mhm.
variety of things that you can
Yeah.
play with and experiment with new products
Mhm.
that have been, we've been so carefully curating this gift bag. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And the
Our
journal is
swag
included.
bag.
Swag bag. And all three of us are in the spa and wellness space. So we have connections to some of the best companies and organizations. There is a journal included, there are pins included. And just as Monique said, there are some really curated items that we're excited to share with all of you in October in Jamaica. So with that, ladies, thank you again. And until next time, be well.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.